Yeah, you guys read the title right. I'm just gonna get straight into it, but this is the most contracts I've ever been in with, and holy shit, was I nervous for the entire duration of this trade. Essentially, this was an A plus King model setup. King model is the model I trade. It's what I teach. But as a mentor to many people in my Discord, I have a Discord that's hit 900. I thank all of you guys, and I thank all of you students. I try to teach you guys, try to do my best. But you guys got to keep in mind, I'm still in my first year of trading. I'm still learning and improving in many different manners and ways. So I just want to preface that before getting into this. But like I said, biggest trade I've ever taken. The take profit up here was somewhere around 4,300. This was on an actual account, so that was money that could be withdrawn. Yeah, and I just want to get into this a little bit. So essentially with my model, I have like a 10-hour course on this, but just a little brief preface again. I look for a Judah swing or London fakeout. And then I look for first presented to get inverse, and then I look for relative equal highs and smooth price action as a bias and target. So we saw all three of those absolutely flawlessly, like completely flawless. This was some of the best targets I've ever seen in my entire, since I've started this model, which was a few months ago. So I was very, very confident in this, very, very eager to take this trade. I went in with 30 contracts, which is 3 minis, which is very, very heavy than I usually trade. This is obviously on the 1 minute chart. But in my market opens at 8:30, so I'll mark this out for you guys. Yeah, essentially we open up, we see this downwards manipulation, we see first presented get formed. I'm already very eager to get in. I see this start coming up. I see this candle closure. As soon as this starts going down just even a tad bit, I press enter and I hold my trade. And within just a few minutes, my bias is already, giving me a little bit of overconfidence. We start pushing up, we're pumping up here, we're coming all the way up here. By this point, by somewhere around up here, I was confident enough to say, you know what, I want to go break even. If this ends up coming all the way back down, I don't want to be in this anymore. At this point in time, I'm sure you guys can see where this is headed. I break even my trade. Stop loss comes up. This is now a risk-free trade. We're all the way up here. What's the worst that can happen is a thought that I had in my head, and I'm sure you can see exactly what happened. Literally to a few ticks, wicks me out and gets to my TP. Now it happens, I'm kind of speechless. There's not a whole lot I can say. Of course, I'm still improving. I think the big learning lesson here, though, because of course I should always try to derive some sort of lesson out of this, and I think the lesson is I should be okay with some sort of loss. I don't have to go break even. I could have moved my stop loss right before first presented, because you can see here it used first presented as liquidity and leverage to pump up even more. And I failed to think about that fact that it could just come back down and reject off of first presented. I talk very often about how I use first presented in my stop loss for every trade, so I can use it towards my advantage because it's a very high rejection zone for price. And in this scenario, I break even and it didn't even cross my mind that I was going to lose this trade. We're all the way up here. We're pumping completely within the first 4 minutes. I'm already over $3,000. And obviously, anybody who is a profitable trader, a professional trader. I know many of you guys who are maybe new to trading may be thinking, oh, you're already up 3,000. Why didn't you take out? You should have taken out. Anybody that's a professional and profitable trader, you do not take out of trades. You have to stay in your trade. You have to stick it out. This is what makes you more money in the end. This isn't greed. This is just how you trade. You set a target, you set a stop loss, you set your targets, and you stay. You stick it out. And honestly, when I was beginning to trade, I used to have to unplug my keyboard and mouse so I wouldn't touch my trade. I've gotten a lot better at it, and me going break even isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think I would say a majority of profitable traders either break even or have a trailing stop loss. And in this scenario, I thought it was a reasonable decision to go break even, and I still don't think it was a bad decision. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a terrible decision, but to some extent this does kind of eat me up inside. I'm trying to pay my rent off, and I almost banged a $4,000 trade, and a few little ticks, one tiny little mistake cost me $4,000. So, and obviously, like the markets are scary. This is part of it. This is part of the journey. I'm gonna have trades like this that are losses eventually. I'm going to have trades like this that maybe I don't get as lucky and don't even get break even. Maybe I'll be $3,000 up and then it'll end up hitting a stop loss and I'll be $1,000 down instead. Like, there's going to be many, many times during y'all's journey as well as mine that we're going to have these scenarios happen, these circumstances that you really just don't want to see happening. You know, and I honestly, one part of me was thinking that I would have been happier if I saw the chart come all the way down here, because then I wouldn't have seen this little wick out, how it wicks me out and then goes to my TP the rest of the remainder of the day. And the other part of me thought, well, you know, I'm actually glad it went to my TP eventually, because what that means is that I had the bias correct, and that gives me more confidence in myself. These entries, these take profits, these break-even stop losses, this is all shit that can be improved upon, right? The fact that I have the bias correct is good enough for me. This was an A+ like king model setup. I was very, very, very overly confident in this. I can even show you right here in my trade analysis. Let's scroll down to the trade I recorded. I can show you the actual contract sizing right here. 30 contracts. Let's see what I wrote. Yeah, this was an absolute A+ king model setup. Couldn't have been better. Shouldn't have gotten break even early. Wicked me out. Ended up hitting TP. Very unfortunate. Went in with heavy contract sizing as well. So yeah, the entire day this has kind of been eating me up inside. But yeah, this is part of the journey. You know, you're gonna have setbacks like this. And like I I've told many people this. Even if I lose all my money and lose everything to my name and lose, you know, my fucking car, you're still going to see me trying to do this. This isn't a gambling addiction. This is something I'm so dedicated to, and I will continue pursuing this journey that I started and had this dream. So I'm very happy moving forward. I know this is like a very, very annoying setback, but of course, like I said a million times already, you're going to have these setbacks throughout your journey. You're going to have times where it edges the shit out of your TP like this, and then maybe doesn't come back up here. Maybe it, you know, comes all the way down here. You know, if I were still in this trade, this would have scared the shit out of me. I would have been stressing for the next hour that this trade was active. But I did want to go over this video just to, you know, hopefully some of you guys can relate to me and have maybe had some of these trades recently. This is a little bit of December price action where it quite literally looks like a fucking barcode. You know, and I could literally go scan this at the store and maybe get some fucking tomato sauce or some shit. I mean, this is literally just barcode price action. But it happens. You know, it happens to the best of us. So, listen. Keep y'all's head high. Keep moving. December price action is not the best. I think it's everything I gotta say, but yeah, I did just want to review this trade, so have a good day, y'all.